What's up, party people? We got a full race report episode for you guys. Scott McGill, he's back from Norway to give us all of the rundown on his Norwegian explorations, his epic ride at Nationals, and also just winning more and more crits like he always does. And then we're going to talk about Unbound with me and DJ both doing that race. But more importantly, how in the world did Dylan Johnson get a 10th place finish in the most stacked ever field at Unbound? You're going to hear all about that today. You're also going to hear some false information because unbeknownst to Dylan, he thought he was in the lead group. He thought that with 5 miles to go, he had a chance to win. However, since recording the episode, he had his mom text him and say, actually, honey, you were not winning. There were 2 riders minutes ahead of you. I don't know how you messed that up, but I guess when you're 195 miles into a race, you start just seeing random pink jerseys in the group you're in. So we'll give him some credit there. He ends up finishing 10th. And big news, in today's episode, I'm repping the super duper tire shirt that you voted on. Thanks. So you can get that merch. It's available on our Shopify account. It's linked in the show notes. Check that out along with all the other merch that we're adding to that page. So support us by buying our merch. Also, if you want to support our content creating budget, jump on over to Patreon and give us your money. Become a monthly supporter. If you got questions, send them on over to bonkbrosbikewash@gmail.com. You can also go to ignitioncoachco.com, fill out the listener form, maybe even sign up for a coach while you're there, just saying. That's all I got. Let's get this party started.
Scott, we need to talk about what are you drinking right now?
It's Coke.
Just a regular ass Coke.
Yeah.
You're not currently riding a bike. You're just sitting here doing a podcast, bro.
Dude, it's my mid-season break. I'm taking it seriously.
How are we all
Nice.
taking it? We're all taking a mid-season break the same week. That's great.
Because it's the middle of the season.
True.
Scott, you just got back from where? Norway?
That was a while ago.
Did you just get back?
Like last week, yeah.
Oh,
It's old news.
I thought you
Did
said
you
you
do
got
the
back
old
yesterday.
news?
No, I raced in DC this weekend.
Then why couldn't you record at the normal time?
Today?
He didn't
Yeah.
want to wake. He didn't want to wake
No,
up
I
at
had
9 o'clock.
I had to help Megan's grandparents take their pool cover off of their pool.
That couldn't wait till the afternoon?
No, because
Priorities.
Megan has Tuesday mornings off. She has a real
Okay.
job, unlike
Okay.
me or most of the rest of us.
I don't know what kind of real jobs have Tuesday mornings off, but whatever.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Well, she works Saturdays too.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair.
Well,
That's
no,
fair.
she works like 12 to 8 p.m. today.
Okay, we don't need
Okay.
to know your girlfriend's work schedule on the podcast.
She's my
Hey,
fiance.
fiance.
Actually, right?
All right. Sorry, dude. Speaking of weddings, I was thinking.
I
I was
wonder how
thinking about this.
I wonder how Alexi's wedding went. Yeah.
Yeah, how Alexi's wedding went.
Did he have
No,
fun?
you know what?
I hope he had fun.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about? I was like, man, okay, so a bunch of people commented, "Good thing you missed your sister's hypothetical wedding," which was pretty funny. But a lot of people had the same joke.
That is true.
And
That
I
is true.
was thinking, I was like, man, considering how the weekend went, like if my sister were to get married and then get divorced and then get married again and then get divorced and then get married again, like how many of my sister's weddings would I miss to get 10th place at Unbound?
Oh my god!
Wow.
I would
Now
say
you're just
probably,
taking it
like,
just taking it to another level.
Dude, and then I was thinking, like, for the win at Unbound, I think that if somebody was like, to win Unbound, you have to never go to a wedding for the rest of your life, I'd be like, yeah, that's happening. I'm never doing another wedding ever.
Even
Your
if
wedding?
it wasn't on the same day?
Oh yeah, just I'm never going to another wedding. If that, so like hypothetically, let's say you can win Unbound, but you can never go to a wedding ever again. I'm taking the win at Unbound.
We've got some
What if it was
issues,
your own
Tom.
wedding?
Dude, I'll never get married. I'll just be like, yeah, I'll just not get married for the win at Unbound.
One time, Dylan tried to argue to me that he would. It was something about like to be world champion in any cycling discipline, he would like give up having children, or
dude,
hypothetically have his child disappear somehow to become
no, because that sounds worse. The question was because like Scott and I both don't have kids yet, right? So the question is, okay, if you could be world champion in any cycling discipline, you choose the cycling discipline, world champion.
Unicycling.
Sure, but like you can choose the discipline, so you could choose the road race. Like Scott would probably choose the road race. I would probably choose the road race if I can choose any discipline, because that's probably the biggest deal world championship race. You have to give up having children. Like you can't ever have kids in your life. Like, would you take that deal? And like I know that you guys, you already have kids, so you're gonna say like I wouldn't give up my kids for anything. I understand that. If I had kids right now, I wouldn't give up my kids to be a world champion. But the kids that I don't have yet, I don't know, dude. World champion.
You sound terrible right now.
Dude.
Only somebody who doesn't have kids would say something that.
I know. Once I have kids, I'm obviously not going to give them up for anything. But I'm just saying, like,
are you gonna have a kid?
I mean, who knows? Anything could happen.
Depends if he wants to win Unbound or not.
True.
How many of the winners of Unbound have a kid?
Have a kid? Well, Boswell
has 2. Yeah, he has kids.
Yeah, but when he won Unbound, he didn't have a kid yet. Because remember in the Unbound video, like at the end of the video, he said, the big reveal was that his wife is pregnant.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Ted probably did though, right? For sure.
Won.
For the second time?
Yeah, I don't know.
His kid's only like a year older than mine. And he won Unbound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that was 6 years ago.
Yeah,
6 years ago.
That's honestly a great point.
I think his daughter's only like 4 years old. Yeah.
I wonder if any of the women who have won Unbound have had kids, because honestly, that's so much more impressive. I don't know. I can't think of.
True.
I'm sure the answer is yes, but it was probably pre-World Tour infestation of gravel.
Infestation is a good word for it.
So like circa 2015.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there were some kids on podiums. So do we want to talk about what Scott did in Norway, or should we just get into the meat of it?
Did you do the method?
Sick in Norway.
Did you do the method while you were there?
The what?
The Norwegian method, bro.
Yeah, did you just do the method?
Don't call it the method. Call it the Norwegian method.
Well, but if you're in Norway, wouldn't you just call it the method?
It's just the method.
Yeah, if you're in Norway, that's what it is, the method.
Yeah, did you get your blood lactate taken while you were there?
Definitely not.
Okay.
How'd you
So
do?
you gonna tell us about it or what?
The entire time. I literally got sick on the plane there, and then started feeling better on the plane back.
And you still won a race?
No, I didn't win anything in Norway.
Did you finish?
No, you were third.
No, I didn't get any results.
What? Maybe people were sending highlights of something else.
Did you talk to Wout?
No.
Bummer.
So you didn't even race?
Yeah, I raced.
Oh, just sucked.
I was sick.
Okay. I don't know. People were sending stuff to the Bonk Bros Instagram, and I thought it was like some results that you were getting in Norway.
I got third at Crit Nationals.
No, that's
I got fourth in the road.
Dude,
race.
you missed the episode that we talked about nationals. And you got third in the crit and fourth in the road race.
Okay, well, I had.
We don't have to rehash it, but like, what's up with that?
You know how hard it is to get from West Virginia to Norway?
No,
like
I'm not surprised.
In the country, do you think
you
are
got
traveling from West Virginia to Norway on like How many
Why is it hard? Why can't you just get on a plane? They don't have planes in West Virginia?
Well, there's not that many good airports to get like good flights out of. So we immediately after the road race, we drove back to Falston to my house, me and a teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Which the drive back, I drank way too much Mountain Dew to try not to fall asleep. And then I got home and I couldn't sleep at all then. So I barely slept, got up, had to do some shit around the house. And
Bro, this is why you got sick.
yes, this is why I got sick. I mean, probably. And then
You had no sleep and you only drank Mountain Dew.
I think we went to Pizza Hut too. And then got a meat lovers. It was delicious.
Nice.
Delicious. And then got on the transatlantic flight to Norway, so didn't really sleep on the plane overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't sleep like 2 nights in a row, and then
the race started Thursday.
And the race started on Thursday. And I had just done the Nationals road race, which was like
you literally
very,
raced on
very
Sunday,
hard.
and then started your next race on Thursday, and traveled to Norway in those 3 days in between.
I think it was plenty of time to recover. But
Honestly, the whole thing just seems like bad planning on Project Echelon's part.
No, well, there's
that's
nothing
what
you
I
could
was gonna
do.
say.
There's nothing else to do.
You could have just not done the Norway race.
Yeah, but I heard
but it's a
that's
massive race.
That's what I said. But yeah, then somebody explained to me that that's a race that like you only get invited to, so like you don't turn down an invitation.
Should have just not done nationals.
No, absolutely not.
Not after those
I could
results.
have not drank as much Mountain Dew. That would be the first step I would take. That's Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
probably like go get something healthy for dinner. Try to actually recover. But I was just like so cracked that I was like, all right, I need some pizza or something, and then just slugged down like a liter of Mountain Dew. Hammered it out.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I hear you. I
mean, you can't win them
a
all.
pizza. Yeah.
So was the Norway race a stage race?
Yeah, it was 4 days.
Okay.
4 stages.
Stites got 8th on one of the days. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the last day. We were kind of
that's
all on our hands and knees a little bit there. Like everyone was a little tired.
Did everyone that went go to nationals too? Like, did you send the same squad from Nats to Norway?
Yeah. Except one guy who's Canadian.
Yeah.
But he raced. He did that race in New York. There was have you ever heard of the New York Grand Fondo?
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they put on a race 1 day road race this year.
Dude, that's like the only race in the country that actually takes drug testing seriously, right? Didn't they catch a doper one year?
What do you mean takes it seriously?
Well, they caught a doper. Am I wrong?
Plenty of races catch dopers.
When's the last time a doper got caught in the U.S.?
Katie Compton after Cross Nats 3 years ago.
Frank Treviso, Summerhill.
The one guy who wrote the book that you read?
That was in Canada, buddy.
Oh, okay. Touche.
Yeah.
And Andy wasn't dope.
Imagine doping for a Grand Fondo.
Sounds appropriate. Like, if I was gonna dope for anything, I would dope for a Fondo. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how many middle-aged men take things that would make them test positive just...
Yeah, I mean, like, mainly testosterone, right?
Yeah,
sure.
So it's like not... Maybe he's just taking stuff and also doing a Grand Fondo.
Yeah. Bummer.
Did you get drug tested after Unbound?
Yeah, what kind of drugs were you on, buddy?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I should have, I guess.
Did they give you a shot in your butt when you were sick 2 weeks ago? Because a result like that kind of makes me wonder.
They did. I actually, you know what? I was actually worried about that, so I looked up what they gave me on Global DRO, and it was banned for in competition, but not banned for out of competition.
You looked this up after they gave it to you?
Well, dude, the guy was like ready to give it to me. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's fine. Just like bend over and let me give it to you. And I'm like,
doctor, you seeing?
Well, dude, like, I don't know. They're not used to having people in the hospital that like question, that actually like care about their their physical fitness right and question what you're about to put in them. Like they're just like, yeah, give me the drugs, right? That's probably most people. I don't know this, but that's probably most people that go to the hospital. They're like, I'm in pain, just give me the drugs. Whereas I'm like, dude, I've got the most important race of the season in 2 weeks. Like, don't just randomly put stuff in my body. Like that's how I got this. That's how I got this rash, dude. My chest still has red dots all over it.
Yeah, we know. You showed us last week.
I know. I was talking to Amanda Nauman at the podium ceremony, and she's like, "Did you see Dylan's rash? He just showed it to me." And I was like, "Why are you going around showing people this rash on your stomach at the awards ceremony?" Like,
dude, I need to have my excuses lined up. You know,
this was after you had already killed it. And you're showing people this weird rash. When she told me, I was like, why did he show it to you? It was funny. It was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. So before we get into the heat of the Unbound, Scott, Tyler wants to know about some local crit you raced this weekend.
Armed Forces?
I don't know. Why do you guys even want to hear about it if it's a local crit?
Did you win? Did you win the Armed Forces crit?
No.
Is that the one that you did?
Yeah. We won. Well, my teammate won the second day. We were first and third.
Nice. Who was that?
Who won Armed Forces?
Brendan.
Huh?
Nice.
Who won Armed Forces?
Brendan won.
Oh, I thought you said that. Third.
It's 2 crits.
Which one's the bigger?
And there's like an overall, I guess. I was third the first day and third in the overall.
So the second day is the bigger of the two Armed Forces.
It's like the better of the two.
It's 100K.
It's 100K.
Yeah. That's the one that
100 laps with 5 corners per lap, so it's like actually hard.
Yeah, I don't know about the other one.
Where the first day is just super wide and just
a crap. So you guys won the big one.
Sure, you could say that.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did he win? Was it in the sprint finish or breakaway?
No, it was a breakaway. We had 2 guys in the break, and then he won solo attack eventually.
And then you won the sprint out of everybody else?
I won the sprint from the group that I was contesting the finish with, yes.
Nice, dude. What a G. Yeah. I wish I was as cool as you, man.
Didn't you get last in the group sprint that you were in?
I didn't get last. I got mid-pack in the group that I was in. It was a very messy sprint, but I got mid-pack in it.
You beat Stetna.
Was it messy because
Stetna was not in the sprint? I beat Torbjorn and I beat Rusty.
Oh, redemption. Nice. Yes. That's right.
But dude, one of the dudes that beat me was Greg Van Avermaet in the sprint. Just FYI.
Oh, snap.
He's washed.
Wow.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. How old is that guy?
Okay. Anything else to add, Scott?
Yeah. On Saturday at the everybody talks about Unbound being this, inclusive participation event or whatever.
Well, they used to, not anymore.
Okay, whatever. They had this challenge ride at Armed Forces. I can almost guarantee you there was more people doing that than Unbound. It was insane. It was a 6-mile course. Just
6 miles?
The whole course, the whole 6 miles was like nonstop riders.
Wow. Were they doing laps?
Yeah, it was like how many laps could you do in a certain amount of time? And it was like a corporate challenge, I guess, is what they called it.
Wow.
And the dudes at the front were like taking it seriously, but then we were out there like riding as like a morning spin just to like with some sponsors and stuff. And the group that was leading would come by and they had like a moto cop like trying to pull everyone over, and they were come ripping by. It was like the most dangerous thing I've seen in a while. And then they were sprinting and like weaving in and out of like the people that only did like 1 lap. All the amateur riders, like it was crazy.
Nice.
Just wait till you race gravel finally.
Why?
Then you're going to see some danger.
I mean,
are you still doing BWR at the end of the month, North Carolina?
I think so.
Nice,
dude. Once I throw in the towel,
we're all coming off of our mid-season break. I was worried that I was going to be on the back foot, but if we're all doing a mid-season break right now,
no, dude, you perform better after the mid-season break. What do you mean back foot?
I'm taking
I'm also
the week
having
off.
a child during my mid-season break, so like I might be like a little more.
You're
like,
not having anything.
Okay. Okay.
Got
My
him, dude.
wife is having a child sometime in the next week, hopefully. So
You don't have to do shit. You just sit there.
I think that's a reasonable to say. I'll be a little bit more on the back foot than YouTube bums.
All right. Well, I'm taking the week off and then literally racing every day until
You're doing Toad?
BWR. Yeah, I'm doing Toad.
No
whole
way.
thing?
The whole thing?
No, I'm flying to BWR on like Thursday. So I'm doing Thursday to Wednesday racing
The
every
new-
day.
The
Nice.
new sponsor of the Roadhouse team, Rainstorm Racing. Rainstorm is like the Monster energy drink. They're like sponsoring Toad, and they're throwing in like thousands of dollars for. The big thing about Toad is like there's preems, but the preems are bigger prize purses than the actual race. So like they have like one called the Super Preem or something, and it's like $5,000. I don't know what it is, but it's something absurd
$5,000
for a
Oh yeah, but
mid-race.
there's so much money in the Lifetime Grand Prix. You can.
It's a
blah, blah,
mid-race,
blah.
just
You could
for a
win $5,000
mid-race
and they'll crit.
sprint. Just for a sprint in the middle
Yeah.
of a crit.
You don't
Yeah.
even
It's
You don't have to
crazy.
finish the race and you can win $5,000.
You could just
That's-
show up and just win that sprint and
Mhm.
win $5,000.
Yeah.
And I think there's a whole points thing too, to where you could win more and more money based off of the preem points. So you don't even have to, you don't even have to race well. You just have to get good preems.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And then Scott, you'll show up at BWR, and if you win, you get $500.
Get a hat.
Yeah.
Maybe some
Alex,
socks.
It's $500.
You
No,
go-
no, they
go
have prize
wicked
money
awesome.
there, but it's
Alex.
not great. It's probably $500 or maybe $750.
Dude, I could make in the same amount of time it'll take me to complete the course. I could
Mhm.
make more money like chopping firewood or something.
Okay, all right,
100% you could.
all right. Yeah, but you wouldn't have nearly as much fun, dude, as racing gravel,
I don't
bro.
know,
Come
cutting
on.
firewood, not that bad. Maybe for 8 hours straight, it's not that fun. But
Mhm.
is the course hard? What do I need to prepare for?
You don't need to prepare. You'll be fine. Just show up.
Does it matter? Because it sounds like you're not going to have time to prepare anyways.
I also already sent my bike down there like a while ago, so
Okay.
Down
not gonna
where?
ride it.
Just
I'll have at least 2 hours of combined time on my gravel bike before that race.
Nice.
Should be enough.
Yeah, you'll be good.
You're gonna run 38s or what?
Whatever's on there.
Nice. Sick.
I think
I'm
we
not
talked
gonna-
about it, but I don't remember what it was. I think you had Vittoria's.
Probably that's our tire sponsor. So
Yeah.
You mean you're not
probably
going to run
40s.
the super duper fast 47s?
Dude, I'm a little disappointed in our YouTube audience that they like that shirt so much. I think that shirt looks terrible, but the YouTube audience was a big fan of it.
Yeah. Did it turn out
Got to
okay?
give
You
the
guys
people
like
what
it?
they want.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Was it
Unbound.
cool?
Yeah.
what
Who
about
wants
it?
to go?
What?
Who wants to go first? I admittedly only tuned in for a couple portions of it.
Wow, dude,
Tyler-
are you even a fan? You didn't stay glued to your phone all day?
No, I was playing golf all day.
Adam
Priorities.
is usually the one who gives us the review of how well the race covered the race.
I will
And
say
it's always a bad review. It's never a good review. It's always a bad review.
I will give some respect to Lifetime in their coverage of the race. They did a really good job on the Unbound and the Lifetime Grand Prix feed of providing regular updates. I think they had a satellite on top of their vehicles so they could provide updates from middle of nowhere Kansas, which is usually what everybody complains about. So that was great. Shout out to Brian, the moto guy, just beeping his horn at everybody during both finishes of the race, making sure that people knew he was coming up, the leaders were coming up, and also that he drove ahead on the final hill. So it was really a mystery until the line of who won. That was
Is that good?
Wait, are you trying to be sarcastic right now?
I think he's being
slightly.
sarcastic.
I don't think you guys picked up on it, but that's total sarcasm.
Was the whole thing sarcastic, or did you start serious? And
No,
then
I did
turn
start
sarcastic?
serious.
That's
called
why it was confusing. You started
Yeah.
you started
Yeah.
by saying good things and then you said bad things and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, so I mean, I can appreciate that subtlety is maybe not maybe lost on half this group here,
Slippery
but
sarcasm there. Okay.
I mean, the coverage, honestly, the coverage was really good for, I would say, 90% of the race. They switched to live like maybe 2 gravel sections before the finish, but in an effort to get ahead of the race so as not to be in the way, whatever the last hill is, they just went ahead of the lead group. Like as the group was getting to the hill, they were like, okay, we're going to go to the finish. And it was just like, everybody's watching Instagram live. Like, what are you doing? This is the part that like we want to see. This is where attacks are going to come. And then they kind of like got around and you could kind of hear the announcers. No one was really sure, especially in the women's, who won. There was just someone walking around with a live stream on the cell phone. And everybody's like, who won? Like what happened here? It was hard to tell, but I mean, overall, again, 90% of the race, it was pretty good. You got updates, kind of knew what was happening, but the finish was just like, man, we got the technology to at least be able to do this in a consistent way.
Yeah. So this isn't their fault because this is just how Instagram works, and maybe it's their fault because they chose to use Instagram as the method for live streaming, but I think it's fine. Like it was easy enough to tune in for, but what's really challenging is if you're trying to just come to the race page to get updates and they do that through their stories, and then all of a sudden they go live, you can't see the stories anymore. You can only tune in for the live feed. So that made it really challenging because like I wasn't tuning in regularly enough to where I was up to date. So all of a sudden I like tried to go in to see the updates, and it's just like the live stream of the finish, but it was already done. So like Lachlan had already won, and they weren't even showing anything. It was just like live streaming the crowd going wild. And then Dylan, your group came across, and they're still not showing anything. So like I was pretty much out of the loop for the last 20K because I didn't. That was the last update that I'd seen.
Yeah, I went to Athlinks after the fifth, and it said Dylan Johnson finished 10th, and I thought this has to be a glitch. There's no way. Like all day, the Athlinks was like not quite right, and so I was just like, "This God, another
Dude,
one in the column."
Literally, somebody commented on my post, and they said, "I thought there was another Dylan Johnson in the race because they didn't believe that I was that high up."
Yeah. I mean, overall, the live coverage was, like I said, was pretty good. But yeah, Adam, your point is like, I was trying to just catch the last little bits of the story. Like, how did we get here? How did we get to this point where it's Lachlan and Chad Haga off the front? And had to wait till after the race to go check it. And I guess,
like I said, that's not their fault. That's just the platform, and it's just there's no way around that.
Don't put your live stream on Instagram.
I mean, I don't mind it because it's such an easy way to access it. And if you're not going to actually live stream it and you're just going to give updates, that's the easiest way to give updates because they weren't really ever live streaming it. It was more just live updates. And that's fine. Like you can flip through, get updates. You don't really need to see the group just rolling in the middle of Kansas for an hour. You just want to see that every 30 seconds for, every 10 miles to see if anything's shaken up.
That's even too much.
I think I say this every single time that you guys give a negative review of a race coverage. Maybe it's because I'm not actually trying to follow any of these races that I'm currently participating in. But like, dude, you gotta hand it to Lifetime for the fact that they're putting out a freaking basically documentary 48 hours after the race happens. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think we're throwing shade at them. They did a good job, and like the fact that they've produced the Call of a Lifetime 7. I don't know how many are you up to now? Like the fact that they put that out on Monday afternoon is great. You just kind of, again, for those who are tuning in live and don't want to wait till Monday to figure it out, we're like, they're making improvements. Last year it was worse, I'd say. So they're making improvements, and that's a plus. So
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I just wish there was an easier way to navigate it with Instagram. It's not, like I said, it's nothing that was their fault.
All right,
It'd just
that's
be
enough.
cool.
Can we just talk about the actual race? That's enough about the Instagram.
Yeah,
we've
let's
just
get
been
into
harping
it.
on the live stream.
Dude,
now.
it wouldn't be a
Drop
it
the
wouldn't
live
be a
stream. Let's actually talk about the race.
it wouldn't be
Let's
a
do it.
post
He wasn't on
it
the
wouldn't be a
live.
post race Bonk Bros episode without Adam and Tyler complaining about following
Yeah.
the race.
Yeah, that was enough of that. Dylan,
Drew
you got
just wants
10
to be on the live stream and he knows he wasn't, so he doesn't want to
Drew,
talk
did you,
about it.
what was your feed? Did you tune in during the fun ride portion of the race?
There wasn't a. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Are you being sarcastic again?
He's
Yeah.
he's asking if you tuned in to see what was going on at the front of the race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was
Did
not
you have your
there.
phone out there?
No, I didn't take my phone. No, nobody is listening to this podcast to hear about Dizzle's 58th place. Everybody is listening to hear
Dude,
about
you would be
Dylan's.
surprised. You'd be
Everybody
surprised how
is
many people
listening.
wanted to know what happened to you out there.
What
A lot.
happened to you? Dang.
Dang.
What did happen to you, bro?
I mean, so yeah, just tell us.
I don't care about
I
Dylan.
don't. What? I thought we were all going to be pumped about Dylan's 10th place. I'm like,
Well,
Oh, we
let's-
are.
stoked.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
Dylan's
we're getting
making
there,
a
man.
YouTube
What
video about it.
what happened to you out there? How many flats did you get?
0 flats. The
How
challenge
hot
get-
was it?
Challenge getaway XP 45s rode me no flats. I was pumped. I was also kind of baby in the downhills, so I wouldn't flat, but besides the point.
Baby.
Yep. I mean, I tried to stick to my strategy of pass a bunch of people late in the race.
No. We need to talk about what your strategy. You said your strategy was you were going to try to
Yeah,
stick with
I had
me, and I
multiple
never.
strategies.
I think I saw you one time, dude.
Yeah. I was chilling at the back. It seemed I don't know. I hadn't done that race in 5 years. I didn't finish it 5 years ago. I think I just lacked the confidence to be at the front of the race, and I was like, and it's such a long race that I'm like, I knew a lot of people were going to try to stay at the front of the race and blow up, and I just didn't. I really, really didn't want that to happen to me. So I was just chilling at the back with Ian Boswell. Me and him were literally just sitting at the back, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing back here? I don't know. I know what I'm doing back here because I'm not you. Like, you're a former winner of this race. Why are you at the back? And I still don't really know why he was. But anyways, yeah. And I wanted to pass a lot of people late in the race. I didn't do my plan of stay with Dylan for the whole race, obviously, because he stayed with the leaders. And I couldn't do that. I really want to know, like, how are you 1% better than me in the lab, but like 20% better than me in real life? Like, what the heck is up with that?
in
Like-
real life?
Like, if you look at our lab results, I should have been like 14th place, like
Yeah,
1% behind you. But how did that happen?
But what about the Aero Lab results?
Yeah, your arrow.
And
You
the
were
equipment
20.
lab results.
Yeah, you were 20% worse than me in the wind tunnel, at least.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, sure. It was all
Yeah.
my un-arrowness, I guess.
I mean, I think I'm not gonna lie. I think that's part of it. Like you, dude.
No,
you
I agree.
You legit have to like put out 20 watts more than me, and we weigh basically the same. If anything, you weigh less than me. So
Yeah, I think it's gotten better.
has it? Because every time I look at you riding, you just have locked elbows.
No, I was riding in the drops for like 90% of this race.
With locked elbows,
Nope.
you know you can still ride locked elbows in the drops.
You didn't ride with me, so how do you know what I looked like?
Well, the one time I saw you, your elbows looked pretty locked. And your backpack looked terrible.
Oh my gosh.
So what happened? So what happened? You just got kind of like gapped because you were chilling at the back.
Yeah, so eventually I just let the leaders go because I wasn't gonna like kill myself to stay with the leaders. So I let them go pretty early on. I think the last time I saw the main group, lead group, was like 60 miles in or something. So then after that I was in small groups all day and really being like cautious of my effort. And then once I got like past 100 miles, I was like, I feel pretty good. Like, we're over halfway done. And so then I started doing like hero pulls and we stuck. I'm not even kidding. I was like pulling really hard and was like, well, I'm obviously the strongest guy in this group, so I'll just do the most work. And so from that point on, I was like, all right, now I was in chase mode. I was in like, I'm going to catch as many of the doofuses that are going to get dropped from the front group. And so I went into that mode and was like, I don't care if the guy behind me doesn't do as much work as me, because now I'm focused on like catching as many people as possible. And if he's going to pull slower than me, then I'm not going to let him. And so me and Evan McQuirk, or Evan or Austin? Evan. You guys know
Just call him McQuirk.
Yeah, McQuirk.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I think it's Evan. I think it's Austin. I don't know. Whatever. Me and him rode together for like a long time, and we were catching people, and we were going through groups, and we were sharing a good amount of work together. But he was my main compatriot for most of the race, and then we caught this big group, like maybe 140 miles in, of like Tobin, Griffin Easter, Ian Boswell. It had a bunch of hitters, and I was like, oh, this is a good group. And I looked back to him, and Truman Glasgow was in our group, and I was like, are they in our race? Because we couldn't tell what the group was, but it was a big group of people, and it was like 10 people. And I was like, all right, we're catching people. I was so amped. And I was like, let's just blow through them. And I literally went to the front, got into the left lane, and just blew past the whole group. And when I went by, I was like, see ya. And those two guys were on my wheel. But then all those guys got onto the back of the train. And so the whole blow past them didn't work. And then on a couple of the climbs, I was just feeling good. So I was just going at my own pace and would find myself like off the front of this group, which in hindsight was like really stupid. And then when we hit the last aid, I could start to feel the legs coming undone, and I got popped out of that group like at mile like 165, 170, and basically crawled in. So I literally went. I finished, but I literally went from thinking like within a matter of maybe 10 mile span, I went from thinking I am the strongest man in this group and I'm going to drop them all, to I am the weakest man in this group and I am getting gapped off the back.
Yeah.
And like literally did exactly what I said I didn't want to do. Like I was one of the idiots. My goal was to pass all the idiots that blew up at the end of the race, and I was one of the idiots that blew up at the end of the race. It's like pure Dizzle fashion. Like I could have almost predicted that before the race, and that's exactly what I did.
Is this you pre-race versus post-race?
Yeah, that's it. And then the last 30 miles felt longer than the first 170. When you're cracked, I swear, when you're cracked, like when you feel good.
The last 30 miles of the race is also probably the easiest. Like there's no climbs left.
I know. Yeah. And the last 30 miles were like, I was literally like just staring at the distance thing on my computer. Like I was like waiting for the finish. Yeah. Luckily, Brennan Wirtz came by me, and I hopped on his wheel, and I'm pretty sure I was going faster drafting him and putting out half the power, because he's like a freaking like drafting Incredible Hulk. It was awesome.
Yeah, he was probably doing 500 watts, but only going 20 miles an hour. You know.
Yeah, and I was only doing like 150 behind him. It was great. I'm serious. So that helped. But I was a little bumped, so I finished 58th. I did go sub 10, which like I'm mixed. I'm stoked about going sub 10. I'm stoked I didn't flat. I'm stoked I finished. But then like 58th place just sounds like so bad.
Well, you said you'd be stoked if you got a top 50. 58's not that far from that.
I know. I said I'd be stoked if I got a top 30.
Okay. All right.
And for a second, I was like thinking I could chase my way back into the top 30. Like I thought that when I caught Griffin Easter in that group that we were in the top 30, but I was like quite off. I think I was like not even in the top 40.
Well, clearly you were 58th, so
yeah. No, I mean, but I made my way up to like 40th place, and then I faded.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So, but I will say this: when I finished, or when I when I dropped out of this race 5 years ago, I was like, I'm never doing this race again. It sucks. I hate Unbound. This time, it was almost like immediately when I finished, I was like, I already can't wait till next year so I can like do better. You know what I mean? Like it was an immediate, like, I'm looking forward to this for next year. So like, I know things, like I know what I can work on, and, you know, so that's exciting.
And bend your elbows. Nice.
Yep, I need to work on my elbow flexibility, I guess, and my
Nice.
bicep strength. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Good on you for finishing though. Like, no sarcasm here. I was
Yeah,
glad that you. No, I'm dead. I'm dead serious because I listened to your podcast. Who apparently we can't name other gravel podcasts, but another episode of a show that I listened to, which you were on, Dizzle, and you were talking about how you wish that you would have finished when you did it 5 years ago.
I
so
think
you came back
like,
and you did that.
5 years ago, I think you were totally capable of finishing. When you describe it, I'm like, that's not like you just had you had a moment of mental weakness. Like you were capable of finishing 5 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Like the first time I did Unbound, 2018. So to this day, it's still my best result at Unbound. I got 9th.
Wait, wasn't that when you did it, Drew?
No, he did it 2019.
Okay.
To this day, 2018 is still my best result with a 9th place, and it's by far my slowest time. I think it was 2.5 hours slower than what I did this year to get 10th. So it just kind of like, I don't know, puts it in perspective how much this race has blown up competition wise.
Well, I hope you would have gotten faster. It's been 6 years.
Yeah, no, dude, I did get
slower. Like, wouldn't that be a bad thing? Is it like everyone's always talking about gravel level is getting so high, all this shit, but every sport is always getting better.
Okay, this is actually a perfect dude. This is
like
I agree, Scott, but this is a perfect time to talk about this because you're finally on the podcast to react to what I'm about to say. All right, and I want to see your face when I say this. All right,
You're
because
retiring from gravel.
No,
finishes.
What? I have said this to multiple people, and usually they agree with me. But we've actually got a professional U.S. road racer here, so I want to hear what you have to say. I think that the level of competition in U.S. gravel right now is higher than the level of competition in U.S. road racing, professional road racing.
But how do you define U.S. professional road racing? Like the Americans that race? Or
I mean, like if you go to a race in the U.S., like a professional crit or a professional road race in the U.S., the level of competition.
The level?
Well, what I'm saying is that the talent level for the people winning and getting top 10 and getting top 20 in any given Lifetime Grand Prix gravel race is higher than that of any given U.S. professional road race.
Is that because all the road talent has simply just come over to gravel?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look at Alexi, because Alexi just did Pro Road Nats, and he got 5th, right, Scott?
I don't know.
Yeah. Scott only races the people in front of him.
I'm pretty sure he was 5th. He was right behind you. And I mean, so I would say they're probably equal. If anything, I would agree, Dylan. A race like Unbound, probably the hardest race in the U.S.
Yeah, maybe
by
Unbound,
far.
but you can't compare like the U.S. Nationals to Unbound because
why?
Only Americans.
Because there's no internationals there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the biggest road race in the U.S.?
I mean, you can compare whatever you want. Like, dude, the Turkey Trot is not quite at the same level as the Boston Marathon. I don't know if you knew that.
Like, if Maryland didn't get canceled, that would be a good comparison because that's like an actual event, like international race. And I would say the level's probably higher in Maryland than it is at. I mean, there's riders who won stages of the Tour de France last year that did Maryland last year.
All right, fair enough.
So
Maryland doesn't exist anymore, though. So
no, it doesn't exist. So it's a tough comparison.
All right, so Scott, like, do you have
I think it'd be inconclusive.
Okay, all right.
Because there's not enough crossover to tell between people who are actually doing road events other than Toby, which we dusted his ass at Red Light. So
yeah, but I feel like he's improved a lot. Like in the last year, he's improved a shit ton.
Yeah, well, we dusted his ass this year.
All right, fair enough.
You just need to come to gravel, Scott.
Alexi dusted him.
You beat him by 1 place at Road Nats.
Yeah, he also almost caught me. I was dying 1,000 deaths, but yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't dust him. He was good, but Those are the examples that you could have crossover between the two disciplines. But since you have all these like guys I've never even heard of, these from like these Europeans coming over for Unbound, it's hard to really tell.
You know, there were only 3 Americans in the top 10 for the men's race. Yeah. So it was. I was looking at the top 10. I just be honest, it was a lot of names that I didn't recognize.
You don't count Lachlan as an American?
Yeah, I don't know. Do we count him? Like, does
I'm assuming you didn't, because that would make it more than 3.
That would make it 4. Yeah.
Is he American?
I mean, he's from Australia.
Does he have U.S. citizenship?
Good
I don't
question.
know.
I don't know.
I just like consider him to be part of the American contingent because he's been racing here for so long.
Yeah, but you're either American or you're not.
I know.
There's like a kind of a line there.
But the other internationals are coming over to race here.
Well, Chad Haga does. I mean, he's American, but he doesn't live in the U.S. Like, he had to come over. So do we count him or do we not count him?
Wait, so then where did you get your number from? Oh, because you were 10th.
Well, I did.
I was counting Rusty, but he was 11th.
I counted Chad Haga, Payson, and me as the 3 Americans.
That's fair.
Or if we go by your definition, then it's Lachlan.
No, I think
Payson,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So DJ, break it down for us.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that probably the hardest points of the day were right after the aid stations. Like, the aid stops have gotten insane. I was in and out of the aid stops in 30 seconds, and I had to chase the hardest of the entire race after both aid stops to get back onto the front group. Like, I don't even know how they're doing these aid stops so fast. Because, like,
why do you have to stop?
Because there's only 2 aid stops in 200 miles. Like, you have to switch out a lot of things. You got to switch out all your bottle, like pack, bottles, lube, chain, right? So you have to.
Why don't you just take like a musette full of stuff?
Yeah, but like, dude, do you know how big that musette would be if it has 4 bottles and a pack, and you got to put all that stuff on? Like, you might as well stop. You know what I'm saying?
So did you swap out your bladder in your like aero sock or whatever?
Yeah.
Could you do that on the fly?
No, I didn't do any of this on the fly. I stopped for 30.
Could you theoretically?
I don't think you could.
I mean, I guess maybe if somebody was running right next to you and they like pulled it out and put the new one in.
I'm already thinking about ways to improve your performance for next year. It sounds like
thanks, man.
Your aid stations are your weak now.
Dude, it's like
better in transition.
What about what about just moving up in the group? Like, could you move up?
I think an issue I had for sure was I went into both aid stops towards the back of the group, and I think that was probably a big issue for me.
Are dudes like attacking into these things to like?
They're not attacking. They're not attacking into it, but what they are doing is like the second they get out, they just start riding hard and hope that they drop people.
So why don't you attack into it?
Yeah, I guess I could. I guess I'll do that next year. I didn't realize that. I knew that it was going to be a quick aid stop, but I didn't realize it was going to be this quick.
What was your aid stop times? What was your T1 and T2?
I don't know. I guess I could look at my total stop time from the race.
Did you take your leg warmers off?
Oh yeah,
no, I was smart this time. I didn't wear leg warmers. So
yeah,
but anyway.
I saw some videos from people in the aid feeds, and it is pretty wild. Like to think that you're racing for 9+ hours and you're not even stopping for 30 seconds. You're more or less stopping for 10 seconds, but slowing down for 20 seconds. Like, it's cool. And they definitely have it dialed, but it's chaotic. And then you're trying to navigate all the people too, to try and get a clear path back into the group. It's wild.
Yeah. I think my highest 20-minute of the race was right after aid stop 1.
So you had to catch back onto the group.
Yeah. I wasn't just in the group. I was like catching the group back for both aid stops. But anyway, so I was there were guys constantly trying to go off the front. Like I think Chase Work was off the front with a couple guys early.
Tobias and someone else.
Nordic
Yeah.
Trailblazer, Jonas Horset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonas Horset.
And I think Eno was with him too.
but-
yeah.
Robert's tried to bridge.
But yeah, Robert's tried. And then Lachlan and Chad were off the front, but we actually caught them back, and then they attacked again, and they ended up being the 2-up sprint. But I think in the second half of the race, guys just stopped pulling through. Like, there was probably, I don't know, 6 of us out of a group of 20 that were actually willing to pull. And so, I don't know, some people in the group were getting really upset about that. Because
who was willing to pull?
Me, Keegan, Payson, I don't know, some Euros that I don't know the names of. And then there was a bunch of guys just sitting on, which, I get that tactic. Like, I get that tactic if there's no one off the front, but we've got guys off the front and they could legitimately win the race here. So, like, how about we not just let these guys go off the road, or up the road?
Yeah, but if all the other people in the group are there for, I don't know, a top 10, and they're not necessarily there thinking they're going to win, then just sitting on makes sense.
I guess. I mean, I was pulling through to catch the front group, and you could argue that I was just there for a top 20. So
yeah, I wouldn't have if I were you.
Instead,
I wouldn't
you got
have
a
been
nice
pulling through.
Instead, you got a nice top 15 finish. That's good.
Right.
So I mean, it's one of those things where you're maybe going into the race. Like if someone said, "Hey, at the start line, I'll give you 17th place today, DJ," and you don't even have to do the race, like you might be like, "That sounds pretty good." I think I would take that.
I would never do that.
I'm just saying theoretically, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Whereas, but then you get yourself in the position where you're like, "Holy shit, I could be top 10 today."
Mm-hmm.
Like your expectations and motivation has to change with that.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
That's why you're willing to pull at the end.
Yeah, so I was just feeling good. Like, I legitimately still felt good 150 miles into the race. Like, I still had good legs. Maybe if I had felt terrible, I wouldn't have been pulling, right? But anyway, so the group is getting smaller and smaller, and then I think at mile 180, there's a pretty significant climb, and Keegan just punches it up that climb really hard, and he drops, in the process of doing that, he drops me and Matt Beers. But fortunately, Matt Beers gets dropped the same time I get dropped, so I have him to work with as opposed to just working solo. And then a couple miles later, we see Keegan on the ground, like picking his bike up, and we're like, oh, he must have crashed. But I was like, this is perfect because he's going to get up, get back on his bike, and then I'm going to have Keegan and Matt Beers to work with, like arguably 2 of the strongest dudes in this race. And we're totally going to catch that front group again. But we never saw Keegan again. Like, he never caught us.
So what happened to him? Did he crash?
Yeah, he crashed. He crashed. Russell took him
pretty
out.
hard.
I thought you shoulder checked him like
Really?
you did to that normie last year with Tobin when you and Tobin took out the.
So I
100-mile
have okay. So I have another crash. I have another crash story from this year that I caused. Well, I don't know. It's arguable.
Allegedly.
I'm about to tell it though. Okay, so
Caused the crash.
hold on. I'm getting to it. All right. So Matt Beers and I it happens right as we catch the lead group. Matt Beers and I are chasing for probably 15 miles. And with 5 miles to go, we finally, like, I think the front group starts playing games with each other, and we finally catch the front group back. And right as we make the catch, we're going faster than the front group is, and I just kind of like slot in. And as I do that, this guy, some Euro guy, comes over on the left of me, and he actually kind of, like, I think we bump shoulders, so I have to swerve to the right, and when I swerve to the right, I cross wheels with Torbjorn.
Oh my gosh!
That's not your fault.
And then when I cross wheels with Torbjorn, he goes down, and I felt really bad about it. I was like, dude, that Like that sucks. And then I was like, I hope that he's able to catch back on, because if that's what takes him out of the race, I'm gonna be like, it's arguable about whose fault it is, right? Like you could just call it a racing incident, but I would feel bad if he didn't catch back on and get himself back into the race. And he did catch back on and get himself back into the race. But yeah, it was a tense moment for sure.
So how far from the finish was that? 5 miles, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
From the finish?
Yeah, from the finish.
Didn't he like blast you at the finish line or something?
No,
Didn't
he got
something
11th.
happen?
What do you mean blast me?
Didn't he like get real upset at the finish?
Oh.
Because I just saw him
No.
come up to you after the race and apologize to you, and I'm like, if he's apologizing, he must have done something like mean.
No,
or
dude,
something.
he didn't blast me. He was just a little
okay.
he was just a little ticked. Like I apologized to him, and
okay.
he was kind of like not really having my apology.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, he didn't blast me.
I was imagining like fist fight, like he's ready to
No,
just pound you, like bro.
Dude, he's like a solid foot taller than me. Like I wouldn't
Right.
last in that one.
Wait, so
Right.
okay, so explain the whole Keegan incident, because I maybe that's why, like when I looked at the results sheet, I was a little confused. Again, I was
I just assumed
only
he was
tuning
over,
in a little,
I just,
here and there, but it seemed like I thought that Keegan crashed out of the main group, but was he had formed a chase group, it sounds like?
Well, it is the main group, but there was a group up the road.
The group up the road was just Lachlan and Chad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it's-
call it
so
a group. I mean,
whatever. Yeah, there's two
Leaders.
riders up the road, and this is the main chase.
But there's third through fifth was a minute ahead of you guys.
third through fifth.
Yeah, Tobias.
Oh, yeah.
Piotr,
No, that's
and
because
Mattia.
that's because the first of all we caught. So this gets confusing, but we caught Lachlan and Chad, and then Lachlan and Chad proceeded to attack again, and the two of them got away for the win. So they were off the front, but they got caught, and then the two of them attacked again in the last 5 miles and got
Yes.
away for the win.
We understand.
So
that.
when you caught
What are
back
these
onto
other-
the front group with 5 miles to go and took out Toby, you're saying that was the lead group?
That was the lead group. Like I could have potentially still won the race at that point with 5
I didn't
miles.
know that.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
so they put 4 minutes into you guys, or 5 minutes into you guys, 4 minutes into that second group in the last 5 miles.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
Yes,
Just
they did.
because the group was playing games, or what?
Playing games and extremely tired.
Okay.
Both of those are probably the reason why no one wanted to pull, and every time somebody did pull, it was the weakest pull you've ever seen. So
Okay, so those guys go off the front. The breakaway sticks to the line. Where did this second group come from? I'm still confused about that.
so there's a 30-second kicker, probably half a K from the line, or half a mile for US. And
They put a minute into you.
Is it a minute, dude? Tell me how much time it is.
9 hours, 15 minutes, 23 seconds was third.
Okay,
And
what's
sixth,
my time?
Your time was 9 hours, 16 minutes, and 36 seconds. So technically, it's a minute and 19 or 13 seconds.
Okay.
Oh,
You stop
crawling.
and like take a piss or something?
Yeah. What the heck? In a half mile?
Yeah,
I don't know.
half mile.
I don't know how they did that. I don't know how. Look,
Did they take a shortcut?
but
Are
basically,
you delusional? Are you sure this is what
Basically-
happened?
No, I know this is what happened. So we were all still racing for third place, right? And then there's this kicker, and like it all just blows apart on the kicker. Like
So the
they
three
go
of
off
them
the front
just
ish.
Flipped on their nos, and you
Yeah.
guys flipped on your
I
brakes.
guess like they had way too much left in the tank. Honestly, like I don't know why they weren't pulling harder to catch the two leaders. But and then I think like roughly a group of 6 or 5 of us sprinted it out for the remaining top 10 spots.
Starting with Greg, with Van Avermaet, probably, right?
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of you. Yep.
Yeah. And then Matt Beers is not that far behind, right?
25 seconds.
Yeah. He's the one that got dropped the hardest on that final climb.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Keegan was 4 minutes behind you guys.
Mhm.
So he must have just, after the crash, like just, I don't know, threw it in.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's not like Keegan to throw it in, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
not at
Like
all.
He
he's
said
not
it
gonna...
was his Instagram post said that it was he hit the deck really hard.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't.
I mean, I'm not saying he threw it in because he like gave up, but maybe he just like
Yeah.
I
was
didn't
out
know
of
he
it.
crashed. I just assumed he was overtrained. I literally thought like, oh, finally.
I
seeing-
assumed
We're
I thought the
seeing
same
these
thing,
overtrained.
Drew. Yeah, and until I read his post, I thought the same
All
thing.
we ever hear about is how much
I
he's
can post
training.
whatever I want.
Dude,
Dylan
Scott.
could also just be making all this up because the coverage was so shit.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, there was a point in the last 5 miles where I tried to do an attack.
Oh snap!
Whoa.
I was probably only off the front for 30 seconds before they caught me, but there was a brief period with less than 5 miles left in the race remaining where I was
gonna freaking win this thing.
where
I'm gonna
where
get
I
the
was
tattoo of the bull on the back of my toe, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
Where I was-
how was this not part of the coverage?
I don't. The helicopter wasn't. on
Dylan
us at
Johnson
that-
has a chance at winning Unbound in the last 5 miles, and they didn't even catch it on the feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They didn't. The helicopter wasn't on
They'll
us.
just have to edit. They'll just have to edit in that clip of you at the start of Sea Otter, and they'll have to edit that in for the last 5 miles
Uh-huh.
of Unbound. They'll
Yeah.
just use that
You should have
footage.
saved your bullet, Dylan, and followed the guys with some racecraft.
I know. Yeah. For sure.
I mean, look, the two former World Tour road racers are the ones who are able to get off the front.
Yeah.
Should have been
Twice.
glued.
Also, dude, when
Twice, yeah, they can do it in their goddamn sleep.
I know, dude. So when Lachlan and Chad attacked for the second time, like with less than 5 miles to go, when they attacked, I was the first one to try to chase him down, and I just couldn't do it. Like I just didn't have it to chase him down.
That's because you blew your load making this other attack.
I know.
Dude, he thought
Was
he
it
Wait, so
okay?
was
Come
Keegan
on.
still in the group at this point, or was he already crashed out?
No, Keegan crashed out at like mile 180. We're talking about
Oh,
mile
okay.
195 now.
Okay.
Was that when you hit your peak power? for the
Yeah.
day?
Trading Peaks put out my wattage, and the peak power is so embarrassing. It's like 750 watts is my peak.
For the whole race?
For the whole race, my peak power was 750.
You didn't do more than that, like off the start line?
You should have been running a stages, dude.
Dude, I think I hit that at least once a lap in a crit. 100 times.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do
Way
9
different.
crits in a row.
Yeah, way different than a crit, Scott.
All right, but you didn't hit 1,000 once?
No, I didn't even hit 800
1,000.
once.
I didn't even come close to that. But that's
Yeah.
probably what kept you in it. I bet if you hit 1,000 5 times instead,
I know, I'm
for
curious.
other
I don't
stupid
know-
reasons,
I
you
don't
might
know
have
why-
That's
gotten
also
popped.
what it lost him to sprint.
Yeah. So I will say that the sprint was so messy because I was chasing down the guys going for third place. So I was a little bit ahead
You
of this
couldn't
group.
even see those guys, dude. They were a minute ahead of you.
Yeah, chasing him down. What do you?
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is like the group of 6 or whatever that I sprinted with, right?
Yeah.
I was like actually not really sprinting with them. I was ahead of them, and then they caught me right at the line.
So you lost the sprint.
Sure.
You might have been chasing down Simon Nordal Svensson, who was in no man's land.
Yes, I was chasing Simon Nordal Svensson.
Yeah.
Was he the dude in all white with the MVDP skin suit?
Dude, I don't know, man. Oh no, that was a different guy. That was a different
Gotcha.
guy. No,
Gotcha.
no, that was not him.
That was maybe Sebastian Skonberger.
And
Yeah,
then
my
there was
teammate from last year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, good rider.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
ninth.
Do you
Dylan,
guys know the what? Go ahead.
How many tears did you shed when your idol Mate flatted out of the race.
Okay, should we talk about Euros flatting, getting hot, and quitting?
Dude,
Well, only like 4 of them.
Mohorich's video was so funny.
It was hilarious.
When they interviewed him, when he flatted out, he's like, basically said, "This shit's bullshit. I'm sticking to the pavement. This is stupid."
Really?
And then went home. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
he said they're going to stick to road racing, and that the
And
roads
he's a
could
gravel
be
world
smoother.
champ.
Exactly like I said it, but
Yeah, he's literally got the world champ stripes on, and he's like, "This is dumb."
Gravel
I did-
sucks.
I did
Because it
love
is
how
dumb.
he was like, the roads could have been a little smoother. They could have like smoothed this out a bit more. Like, okay,
Mhm.
got it.
Yeah, we'll tell the farmers that next year.
Yeah, for sure.
When I passed him, he was literally just like stop peeing on the side of the road.
Also, Dizzle, remember when you were talking about Joris Niemenhauser
Yeah, he
or
did
whatever
pretty
his
good,
name
didn't
is? No.
he? He did get hot, didn't he?
Yeah,
Got
he didn't even flat. He just got hot. He just got hot. Like,
He
you know how you
literally,
were like-
he literally said that in his interview. He's
Mhm.
like, I got hot.
Dude, remember? I want you to rewind to last week. You said, dude, that you don't know what you're talking about, Dylan. That dude's gonna light you up, dude. He didn't even flat. I just lighted him up, bro. I just straight up lighted up the dude who got second at cyclocross world championships.
I hear you. I hear you. You're
Okay,
so
but
good,
this is
Dylan. You're so good. Can you autograph my forehead?
No,
Dude,
but this
come
is
on.
what I was trying to say last week. Unbound is just different, man. Unbound's just a different beast. Like, straight up, if Matthew Vanderpool is on the starting list next year, it's not guaranteed at all that he's going to win.
Oh, I
Like,
hear you, dude.
he's the most talented one in the field, but it's not guaranteed that he's going to win at all.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear, bud.
All right, cool.
I'm not arguing with you.
But
on
that's
that.
stupid because so much of it comes down to like fucking flatting.
Yeah, it's like Paris-Roubaix, you know?
Yeah, but it's way worse.
I guess.
I don't know if it's worse though.
Okay,
Yeah,
but dude,
There's
this
way
is
more flats.
This is what I was trying to say about the tires. The only 3 Lifetime Grand Prix riders that made it into the top 10 all had mountain bike tires on. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
So Lachlan had mountain bike tires on?
He had a mountain bike tire on the front.
Didn't see that.
So we had a mountain bike tire.
Yeah, singular.
Singular.
But I'm
Collectively,
assuming
that was
he just can't fit one in the rear. Otherwise, he'd have one in the rear too. Because, like, why would you have it on the front but not the rear, you know?
Dude, he also ran a double. Do you run a double still?
Yes. What? Obviously.
Obviously.
Why are you shocked that anyone's running a double? There's plenty of doubles out there.
Dude,
There's a
I
lot of
think
doubles.
gravel should go to triple.
hilarious.
You can get a big dog on there and still have the easy gears.
You guys
Yeah,
are all
like
basically running 90s mountain bikes anyways, early 2000s mountain bikes, so the triple makes
They
sense.
did have triples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just embrace it.
Exactly.
Does anyone still make a triple? Like a derailleur that shifts into
I'm
triple?
sure Shimano does. They
Yeah,
make all
it's-
kinds of shit
Yeah, you
ass
could-
drivetrains.
Yeah, for like the hybrid bikes. You're such a
Did you see-
Shimano hater.
Do you see the guys that finished on beach cruisers?
No.
Heard about
That's
it.
stupid. Underbiking sucks.
There's
Is
an
it-
article. They literally got to Unbound on Friday, went to Walmart, bought beach cruisers, and then
Went to
raced on
Walmart?
Saturday. Yeah,
Didn't we say that on the pod? Didn't we say someone should do that? Someone should do Unbound
Maybe.
on a beach cruiser?
Okay,
I think
have
we
a-
did. I think maybe that's where they got the idea from. I think
We'll
we did
take
say
credit.
that.
For sure.
The question I have is, has anybody ever finished Unbound on a unicycle?
Ooh,
If not, I
No.
think I'm going to... When I retire from trying to ride the race fast, I think I'm going to be the first person to try to...
do you know how
finish.
to ride a unicycle?
Oh, yeah, dude. I can ride off-road unicycle
I bet
Really?
you I can beat you on a unicycle, Dylan.
at Unbound.
Give us the same size wheel, and I will beat you in a unicycle race.
Would it be a
Why do-
650B or a 729?
Make
I don't
this
care what
happen.
it is. I'll
No,
beat
it'd be a 36er, dude. Those unicyclers go real big
Yeah.
with their wheels.
You guys are going
Gotcha.
to be in North Carolina in 3 weeks. We can make a unicycle showdown happen.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
dude.
If somebody gives us 2 equal unicycles, I will kick your ass.
Does it
I
have to
can't-
know
be?
how fast you can spin your
I
legs.
can't try to aero optimize my unicycle.
It's all about leg speed.
Am I allowed to run a Conti Race King on my unicycle?
Yeah, sure. You can run whatever tire you want, but I know you can't spin your legs fast enough.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. Showdown.
All right.
BWR, North Carolina.
Do you guys remember that post that Alex House did a couple weeks ago about the person that was acting like a baby at Gravel Locos?
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I discovered who that was.
We
kind of on
discovered who it
accident.
was last week, bro.
Who did you
On
guys?
the pod.
Who did we say it was?
Nikki Terpstra.
Yeah. Okay. So I confirmed this because after the last aid stop,
Wow, great detective work.
I went through a little faster than him.
Adam literally said his name on the pod last week. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm just trying to tell a story. Okay.
All right. Fair
Okay.
enough.
But that was my lead in for the story. So I get out of aid 2 ahead of the group that I went in there with, and he catches up to me, and it's just me and him. And I'm in hero pull mode. So I pull for like 5 minutes, and then I flick my elbow, and he just starts yelling.
Mhm.
And I didn't know who it was because I don't know. I know the name Nikki Terpstra, but I had no idea what he looks like. And I just hear this European guy yelling at me in English with an accent, and I'm like, I just look at the guy, and I'm like, "Are you mad right now?" And he just yells a little more, and I'm like, "Are you mad at me right now?" And he just yells some more, and I'm like, "Why are you
Can you
mad
not understand
right-"
what he's yelling?
Yeah,
what
because
was
he
he
was
yelling?
kind of just pissed and mumbling yelling. Like I didn't know what he was yelling about. I literally had no idea why this guy was mad. I'm like, I just pulled, and so I want you to pull, and there's 2 of us. If we work together, maybe the guys behind us won't catch us. So like it seemed kind of natural to me. And I literally have no idea why he was mad. I think he was just mad because he was having a bad day. And I just looked at him and said, like, "Are you mad at me?" And then like 5 minutes later, I saw the name on the bike and was like, that makes a lot of sense. This makes way more sense. I was like, you're really mad because you thought you were going to win this race, and now you're mad that you're not. And
I'm
so
sure
you're
you
just-
did something to piss him off.
I
I'm almost
literally
positive.
do not know what I did. I did
You
a
probably
fair.
pulled too hard.
He probably was so
I don't
pissed
think
that he
I
was
was
looking at your red butt, dude.
Maybe he was like, this guy's an idiot, and how did I end up riding with this guy?
Yeah, dude, he's like, this guy's
Yeah.
red butt and disgusting looking tiny backpack is
I literally
pissing me
think-
off right now.
I didn't have one on at that time, but I think that's what he was mad about. He's like, is this really what I've come to? I'm racing with Project Dizzle
Dude,
Collective. Like,
you're
come on.
Your backpack straight up looked like something that like a 3rd grader would like like, you know, because a 3rd grader is
I only have two, so it's either that or none. And so I went with that because I thought hydration was more important than looking like a doofus. I don't care to look like a
that's
doofus.
always false.
Dylan, you look like a doofus a lot of times. I thought that's like your whole MO is like look
Okay,
like
but-
a doofus, but do what you want to do, and that's what I was doing.
No, not do what you want to do what makes you fast. That backpack is not making you fast.
I like you keep calling it a
I
backpack.
needed the water that was in the backpack. I needed that water.
Uh-huh.
As if you didn't run that just like 6 months ago.
I'm
that same
literally
backpack.
not sponsored by Usui. I don't have like 6 of them. I don't have an Aero Pax custom skin suit.
Dude, you could have borrowed a Usui pack from me. Like 3 people did that.
Thanks, bud. Yeah.
You probably didn't offer it. Whatever
Yeah.
Dylan's doing in the moment is the only way that anything could ever be done. But he thought the same way when we were in college, when his whole training of training methodology and everything was completely different. But he had the same attitude that it was the only way that you could train.
Yeah.
So now, do you think doing a 40-hour week and then getting sick and taking the week off is like the only way to train for Unbound?
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Didn't you make a whole video about the pack? How it's more arrow?
Not the pack.
No, but
no,
but
the
not
pack I was
Dizzle's
wearing.
pack, dude. You need to look
No,
at Dizzle's backpack.
I admit that the pack I was wearing was stupid looking, but I literally
And
do not care.
Definitely not
Do I
arrow.
want to die of dehydration in the middle of Kansas, or do I want to look like a doofus with my
How
back?
about
Why do you need to use a doofus pack? Why don't you use a normal hydration pack?
Yeah.
It was a normal. It was a normal hydration.
Then
pack.
why does Dylan keep saying it's a
just mad.
backpack?
Dylan's
Because
just
it's
mad that
different
it
from
wasn't
what
an
Dylan was using
Usui
in the
Aero
moment.
pack or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Just a huge
It was
backpack? I
dude,
mean, I
it was
don't
a-
understand.
It was like the company I think is JanSport.
No. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the same one I got on the school bus with in the 3rd grade. Had my initials on the back of it and everything, man.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep. So that was
Oh,
pretty cool.
man.
It had water in it though, so it was good. Kept me alive.
Dude, so this is one thing that I did that I think helped out a lot is I was by far carrying more fluid than everyone. Like I had a 3-liter bladder in my suit, and then I had 4 bottles on my bike, and I had a soft flask full of water down the front of my skin suit.
Yeah,
Is that for aerofaring purposes?
Yeah, but also I wanted the water.
is that because
That's
you
a
just saw
lot.
Lachlan
That's a
with a
lot.
bladder on his stomach and you thought that'd
Yeah.
be a good idea? Trying to look cool.
Did he really have a bladder in the front of his jersey?
It looked like it. Is that what he was running? It looked
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I've seen the radio down the front, and I was reading
Dang,
the Rafa
that's what I should have
Project
done.
Bolero thing.
I should
put
have
your
left the
JanSport on your
JanSport. I
stomach?
should have left the JanSport part of my thing at home and just put my bladder in my jersey. Gosh, I'm such a doofus.
I mean, it was the year of the integrated
Man.
bladder pouch.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 or 6 different people thought they were like bringing this new innovative thing to Unbound, and then the same day they all revealed the
Mhm.
same exact thing.
Yep.
Also, didn't they do this in road cycling like in 2010 for time trials? I'm pretty
Did they?
sure. I'm
Did
pretty
they?
sure like Tony Martin did this, and then of course they banned it. But
Oh, really?
you should look. You should go through like the banned product list. It's probably got a lot of good ideas to
Mhm.
brainstorm to how to get faster.
Okay.
we talked about this last
Scott,
week.
he's already
I don't listen
insufferable.
to this thing, so you guys have to update me on
We
what you
didn't
talked about.
we didn't talk about the banned products list.
We talked about the rules of Unbound and how there's a lot of room for
Interpretation.
Yeah, dude, you
interpretation,
know who took the interpretation of the rules of Unbound and just threw them out the window? It's Chase Ward.
Chase Work.
Yeah.
Why?
He literally put fairings on his bike.
Yeah.
Is that not
I
allowed?
literally said he probably listened to the podcast and was like,
Dude,
"That's
no.
a good idea."
Also-
I literally said that last week.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely the one that gave him that idea for sure.
No. Kyle Perry. Kyle Perry gets the credit. He was
Okay.
the one that told me, and then I said it on the podcast.
Also, his computer mount was like a foot long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was basically, and it came up a little bit, so he's basically using his computer as an arrow bar, which I do that too, but I just use a normal computer mount that's short.
Are you not allowed to use fairings?
No, you are.
You are. That's why he
You
did it.
can. You just can't have arrow bars for Unbound.
Okay.
They banned
So
arrow
he was
bars.
kind of breaking one rule.
Well,
Mhm.
technically no, because it's just a computer mount.
Yeah, it's just a foot long computer mount.
You can't have arrow bars, but you can ride puppy paws, right? They don't care
Right.
about that.
Yeah, you can do puppy paws. So,
So much safer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did this guy do?
He was in.
he
He was in the longest breakaway of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Didn't stick,
so he
but
rode like an
it was like
idiot. is
it
what
was
you're
a
telling me.
100-mile breakaway. And then,
did-
I don't know.
he
I just
did-
had the results pulled up.
He did beat Dizzle.
Yeah,
Does he know
smoked
that
me.
all these
47th.
arrow gains,
Wait, he was really
if you
47.
just draft someone else, that's
Dang,
like
I
more
almost
of a
beat him.
gain than just having all these arrow gains? Does he know about drafting?
It hasn't quite.
I don't know.
it hasn't-
Maybe you should tell him about it, Scott.
Yeah. So as long as you sit like around behind another rider, it's actually way less drag than you sitting on the front.
DJ hasn't made a
Yeah.
video about that yet. It's coming though.
It's true.
Yeah, you gotta simplify your videos. They're too complicated for these simple folk.
Like you.
Yeah. Teach about drafting.
Okay,
You
that's
gotta
just
be like Phil Liggett on the Tour de France, like NBC Sports.
when they did.
when they do like a little thing about a pace line, you know?
Yeah, and they explain what an echelon is for the 100th time.
Yeah. and that sitting behind another rider is 30% less drag.
You should, you know what, Scott, you know what you should do is you should get a clip of that, of Phil Liggett explaining drafting, and send it to Chase Work.
All right, do it. If you do it for me and clip it out, I will DM it to him. But I don't want to have to do any work. Slash, I wouldn't even know how to start.
Wait a second. There's a guy that got 106 places. His name is Owen Vermeulen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
that's
went to
like his
Unbound
cousin.
and skipped his cousin's wedding. And...
He skipped his wedding. Is Alexi's brother's name Owen? So he just got Alexi out of doing Unbound by
I'm pretty sure that's his cousin or something.
I wonder
And
if the wedding was fun.
There's a lot
I
of
bet it
names
was
that
more fun than
DNF'd.
Unbound.
What happened to Lance? I don't see Lance on the.
He got 18th.
Oh,
What happened to there were two
There he is,
Alex
okay.
Alex House popped pretty early and Howard Grotz.
how he
Both of them.
DNF'd.
Yeah, what happened to those guys?
I think Alex finished, but I thought he said he's been dealing with thyroid issues this year. Some health stuff. But he did test a lot of tires on another podcast I can't name here. For the bosses.
Good.
Tested
Yeah, dude,
them
he's
on a podcast.
we should have Alex, if we're gonna have a tire talk podcast, we should have Alex Howes on.
No, don't.
Down.
No.
I don't think that you guys could
Have him
deal
on,
with
but
a
don't
level of
talk about
sarcasm. All right, Dylan. We haven't talked about tires yet, to my knowledge. Are you sold on running mountain bike tires on gravel bikes from now on?
No, I think I'm gonna do 38s next year. I think that would actually be faster.
You'll get 9th place.
Well,
I don't have any data to prove that, but I just have a feeling.
but wasn't the section where you could have possibly gotten third, was that on pavement?
Yeah.
So the most decisive moment of the race.
Yeah, but I
You
wouldn't
had
even.
an
I would,
advantage.
dude. Legitimately, if I had 38s, I wouldn't have even gotten to that section. I would have been an hour behind at that point.
All right, but you
Yeah,
could have
anybody
a blend.
To
in
be
that
fair,
group that was on
the
38s?
winner got first, obviously, with mountain bike tire on the front, and Chet Haga looked like he had maybe 42s or 45s.
Yeah, I mean that's a typical Unbound tire.
Yeah,
But dude, so Scott, the only 3 Lifetime Grand Prix riders to make it into the top 10 and the top 3 in the Lifetime Grand Prix all had mountain bike tires, or at least one mountain bike tire. on
Why
their
are
bike.
we
You already said that.
I know, it's just a good
segregating
point.
now
It's just a good point.
between lifetime and regular rider? I don't give a fuck about lifetime rider.
All right.
What does that even? I don't care.
So go back
What
to
does
the
that
top
do with
10.
the
It's
tire?
kind of weird that they do a whole separate podium and Dylan gets third on this podium, but he wasn't actually third. It was just like
Yeah, that's got to be some form of discrimination.
yeah. It does seem like it. It does seem like it.
European discrimination?
What place did the 5th place finisher in the GP get overall? He must have got
Who would that have been?
It
13th
was
place or something.
Torbjorn. Yeah, he got 12.
12.
Or
What?
no, it was
No.
Rusty.
No, it was Rusty. 12.
How do
Rusty
you
got
get
12.
12th place and end up on a podium?
Do I need to explain this to you? You know how it
I
works.
know, but I know. I'm just making a point, Dylan. Just making a point, dude. I don't need you to explain it to me.
I mean, the
You'll be in the
Lifetime
special
Grand Prix
club.
is the new age group athletes of the elites.
Wow, Adam, that was good. That's so good.
Kind of true.
Nothing
It's
wrong
like
with
we're
it.
gonna ignore all the other
the spirit
fast
of
people
gravel.
that finished in there, but
DJ, did
we-
you receive any communication about? I lodged a complaint for your number not being flat. Did you get any feedback from the Lifetime Grand Prix on that, or?
Yeah, they're gonna DQ me, and they're gonna give my result to the next rider that didn't put their number plate flat, which I think might have been Dizzle Dillman.
Oh, perfect.
hey, I'll
Were there
take that
some-
podium position.
Were there some interesting? Because that was a big thing we talked about last week. Was how they were talking about the numbers had to be flat, had to be a paper plate on the front of your bike. It looked like there were some interesting interpretations of that rule, but.
Yeah, so I would say that most of the guys in the front group, what they did is they just, they hang the number flat on the handlebars, and then as soon as they start riding, they just fold that thing up, They just fold it under their stem. That's all you got to do.
Hmm.
So hopefully no one from Lifetime is listening to this. I mean, I know they saw what happened out there, but
Are you sure?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't.
Shit, so
There's a lot of photos of it, so
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
pretty
there's
sure they did.
There's
yeah,
a lot of trimmed numbers too.
So look. This is. I'm legitimately. This is what I was thinking at the start of the race. I was like, I'm gonna put my number flat on my bike, and that's how I'm gonna run it. But I'm not. I will flip it up if I see enough other people flip it up. And I was looking around. I'm like, yeah, everybody's got their number flipped up. I'm flipping this thing up.
Nice.
And that's what I did.
They can't DQ us all.
I didn't flip mine up. Didn't even. Once the
Dude.
race started, I was so nervous about
Put it on your
all the
list
other
to do
stuff
next
that
year.
I didn't even think about my number. That was the last thing on my mind.
Can't they come up with a better, like a chip or something?
Yeah, they absolutely can.
There is a chip.
Or put a number on your jersey, like every other discipline of cycling?
They had that too. We did have numbers on our jerseys.
Really?
Yeah.
They had all the bases
Why do
covered.
they need these plates on the
I
front?
don't know. I literally don't.
And
know.
then make a bunch of rules about it.
Yeah.
because
So at the BWR
Power.
at the BWR races, one of the dudes from the timing tent at the BWR races, he came up to me and he's like, "Yeah, I saw your video about how you just tape your number plate to the side of your frame, and that's more aero." And he's like, "That actually works really well for us because then your number is perfectly flat and we don't have any problems with timing. So you should keep doing that." And I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sweet."
and don't they take the camera for the photo is like
From the side?
It's a cell
from
phone.
the side?
It's
Yeah.
a cell phone video. At these gravel races, it's just a cell phone video.
Yeah.
Also, I saw, at least for the finish of the women's race, as soon as they cross the line mid-sprint, somebody is spraying them with champagne.
Oh, same for Lachlan.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
okay, I'm just talking. Yeah, but the women's race was like a 10 or something rider sprint, so
Yeah.
it seemed a little.
We should throw
Dangerous.
some we should throw some props to the women's race because that was actually also really good to keep up with. I mean, it seemed I tried to keep up with it as well. And it seems
was,
like
was Sophia overtrained too?
I think she just hates that race.
Oh, okay. I just assumed they were both overtrained.
No, I think she flatted at some point and rode
Oh, okay.
rode to one of the aid stations with a flat and had to get a wheel swap. But I mean, the women's race just looked like it was a race of attrition where it didn't seem like there were a ton of attacks. It just seemed like the group just kept whittling down. And then, it was, again, we didn't see coverage of the hill. I haven't watched the YouTube recap yet, but I know like coming down to the finish, I'm keen to see how it kind of all played out because it was the Instagram live feed wasn't great, but it seemed like an exciting finish to see, a 10 up sprint for the win. And then
9.
to your point, 9 up sprint still.
That's I mean, that's by
sick.
far the biggest sprint that there's. I think that's the biggest sprint that there's ever been, men or women, at the end of Unbound.
Yeah, sick.
Which is really cool because this is the first year they've had their own start, right? And they can
Mm.
they
Yeah.
produced an
So
exciting
Tyler-
product.
Because I didn't see the women's finish. Did they clear the way for them to have the 9 up sprint finish, or were there other people in the way?
There were no
They
other
did
people in the way. Yeah, go ahead.
They did a separate shoot thing. Like a mile out from the finish, there was there were 2 shoots. The left one said 200-mile finishers. The other one said all other finishers. And so this was like a mile before the finish.
Wow,
And
whose
you
idea
go
was
into
that?
shoot and all the way from what?
I said, whose idea was that?
Are you saying
All the way-
it was your idea?
All the
Or
way from
Ours?
there to the finish, you were
Cool.
inside of a metal barrier, so you literally couldn't go into the other lane.
It wasn't.
So
It
you
wasn't
took the
just
wrong
200, right? It wasn't elite. Sorry, it wasn't elite only. It
It
was
was all 200.
Okay,
It was just 200s on the left, everybody else on the
but
right.
they
Which is
started you
fine,
all in a
'cause-
wave.
Yeah, because the elite people
Yeah.
are ahead of the amateurs. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome.
And then they took
so-
they took it down at some point though. Like at some point it was gone. So like at some point
the
after
time you
all
got
of the
there?
top. guy, you. I did finish 45 minutes behind Dylan, and Dylan was still hanging out at the finish line. I was thinking like,
Talking about
I wasn't that
tires.
far behind him, and then I realized like he got 10th, and he was 45 minutes ahead of me. I was like, nah, he's just soaking this up.
No, that's cool that they did that.
I left the finish corral before. He
Yeah,
did.
it was super cool just to see, and they did a good job. Like it's so funny. You tune in, everybody's tuning into the Instagram live, and they're like, where's Sophia? Where's Sophia? Who's in the front group? And like the guy who was doing the feed did a great job periodically of just running through who was in there from the back of a moto. So it was cool that they were again showing what was happening in the race, like the dynamics, who was in the group. It would have been cool if they had stuck with it on the Instagram live feed of the hill and then past the ladies. I mean, again, they do it in road races all the time, but I understand it's logistically difficult when you have one person on the back of a moto. But
you know what they?
I
should
bet
have
it
done?
was because of the chute. Because the chute was narrower than the road. So I wonder if they were like, I wonder if that made them nervous. Like once
They
that,
did.
Yeah, I bet that's what it was.
Yeah,
they
they
should have
said
done
that
what
on
they did at
commentary.
Schwamigan, where the moto was basically given,
A lead out.
one dude a lead out.
Is it Kieran, or is it, what is that, a Derny race?
Dude, so
Yeah.
you're sitting 7th overall in the life. You're in the money.
So now we care about the Lifetime Grand Prix,
Bro, if you're in the money, come on. Is that 7th? Is that right?
Speaking of money, you were in the money this weekend. Oh wait, there wasn't any.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
Who would have ever
shit!
put you in 7th overall?
Should have
But
done
dude,
armed
that's the-
forces. There's plenty
That's
of money
over
there.
twice as good as 16th. Like,
Is that your
that's-
local crit?
That's like,
Yeah.
So
Listen,
are you gonna
let's
be able to
finish
hold
the-
on to this? Are you gonna be able to do this? Are you gonna be able to like hold on to this the rest of the year?
What, 7th?
Dude, you
Uh,
are like you went from like a mid packer to like, dude, you're at the front of these races now, dude. Like, you could be. I'm not even kidding. I'm being dead serious. Like, your whole mentality of how you race is like could be changing right now. Like, you
Mhm.
were 2 years ago, you time trialed Unbound. This year, you were at a point winning the thing. Like, that's a huge mental shift, and like, I'm excited to see how I'm personally, honestly excited to see you specifically and the rest of the season.
I agree. Yeah.
If you're gonna,
I feel like this is kind of
now like graduated into the front group. Like,
yeah. I feel like Mid South was like the bump that you needed
yeah,
to like prove to yourself that like you deserve to be in that front group. And then
this was just like
Unbound was like
more-
the validation of that.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Dylan's head can barely fit through a door as it is. I don't think we need to make it any bigger. Please.
I'm just saying I'm excited about it.
Wait,
Okay.
how is Keegan still in first though? That's what I want to know.
By winning.
He got 14th.
Yeah, but he won the last race.
And what place
There's
did
only-
they
So
Due
how
to
do you
the-
win the
the
first race and then get
segregation,
14th
Adam,
and be in
just-
first?
Just I don't know.
Due
just
to
do
the
math,
segregation,
Adam.
he was probably
I'm
like
sure
fifth.
somebody did the math. Come on, you can't just
I-
not do the
I
math.
wanna see
and
the
say it's
breakdown.
wrong.
They probably just always assume that Keegan is in first without doing
Yeah.
any math.
Just default on the website. But is it only the people in the Lifetime Grand Prix get points, right? It's not like factored on
Mhm.
your overall placing. So Keegan was
correct.
probably 5th in the Lifetime Grand Prix
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
out of 35 points.
Can
I
we
thought there
wrap
were
this
only
up
30
soon?
people in the Grand Prix.
They started weighting the top.
Yeah,
couple
but they started.
points a
Yeah,
little.
they
They
started.
do a little bit of weighting. Like first
Yeah.
place gets 3 more points than second place or something.
Oh,
they
okay,
did weight
so that's
the
new
points
this year.
a
Then.
little. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense now. That's why I was confused.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Payson's in second, DJ's in seventh. Yeah, baby.
Nice, dude. No pressure.
I know. Well, the next race is a really bad one for me. It's Crusher.
So don't
Why is
go?
it bad for
Just
you?
skip it. Just skip it so you can stay
Yeah,
in the top
dude.
10.
No, I'm
Why-
not. How? No, that if you skip a race, they're not
So
going to be like.
why
well,
is
he
it bad
skipped
for you
it.
though? Because you do well at Leadville.
It's not a mountain bike race.
I mean, yeah, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't go into the race with that negative mindset.
Why don't
It's
you
good for
just
me.
go altitude train for Crusher? I think that's the mistake you made. Is like last year you didn't
No, I-
really go to
No, I did.
altitude before.
I did. I was out there for 2 weeks.
Do 4 weeks this year.
Okay, yeah. I'll just yeah.
Just go there tomorrow.
Yeah, start driving, bro.
No, he's doing BWR.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta.
I don't know. I feel like you could do well at Crusher, and now that you're actually in this thing,
All right.
I don't know. I saw a sprint last year from Crusher. Very disappointing.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't need a good sprint for Crusher. It's like literally a mountaintop
that
finish.
also
So.
wasn't even a sprint. I wouldn't call that a sprint.
Was Logan
Riding
Owen at
hard.
Unbound this weekend?
No.
No.
Who?
No.
He's already skipped 2 races.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Is he? Why is he in the series?
We asked that question when they announced the roster. Why is he in the series?
yeah.
That seems kind of lame.
You should just know somebody at Lifetime, Dizzle. You should just
Yeah.
get to
I'm
know
kinda
people
ticked.
at Lifetime so you can get in.
You should definitely take his spot next year.
I
dude.
beat some Lifetime athletes. Like when I saw Howie Grotz, I was like,
There are a lot of people that didn't show for Unbound.
yeah.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Dude, it's just because they all had weddings, man. It's just a really popular wedding date.
It is probably a popular wedding date.
Yeah.
Beginning of June, nice weather, not
True.
too hot. All right, can we wrap this up? I got stuff.
What
to
do you
do.
got? Pools to open again?
No, I got to change the oil in my boat.
And then use that to degrease your chain, or what are you doing here? Oil your chain?
No,
up?
we're gonna try to water ski off the back of my John boat.
Really?
20 horsepower motor. You think we can do it?
Yes. Video
Slalom or
this.
2 skis?
You're a crit boy.
Well, I think we're gonna start with like a surfboard, less force. I don't want to rip the transom off the back of the boat. I think that'd be bad.
That would be really bad.
Yeah.
So you're telling me right now that
This is what
water
Scott is
skiing,
up to
water
in
skiing
Maryland in the middle of
with your John
this.
boat is more important than answering listener questions right now.
Yeah, dude, that's way cooler
Yeah.
than anything to do with biking.
I'm with Scott on this one. We should
Crabbing,
wrap it up so
water
Scott should go do that.
Tyler, read the one listener question that.
Oh yeah, actually the one you texted us was kind of funny. Yeah, I'll allow that one.
So this is a genuine question for the pod. What does Dylan do if he accidentally swallows a bug on a train ride? I know he is a vegan. So does he dry heave until he throws it up in order to keep his vegan code unbroken? Or does he go and apologize profusely to other bugs who are mourning the loss of the one that he swallowed?
Yeah, I mean, the latter, I guess.
You just got to you got to atone for your sins.
Yeah, no, I kill bugs all the time. I hate bugs.
I
Wow,
don't
dude.
actually care about animals.
There's so many ants in my house, and I'd be killing those ants for sure. So sorry, ants. I don't have mercy for ants or bugs that I swallow on a ride.
Wow, dude.
What
Miles
about-
is going to be
what about
really
the-
upset with you.
What about the birds that you just smoke with your face because you
Since
ride
you were
so
10 years
fast?
old.
Okay, but that's their fault. You know what I mean? Like, you can't help that. Like, just like I took out Torbjorn, you know? I couldn't help that.
Yeah.
Just trying to improve your chances in the sprint. I get it. It's
We do
tax-
have super fan algorithm Dan's June question, and it's directly related to Unbound.
Read it, dude.
Okay.
Anything
Super
to
quick, I'll knock it
anything
out.
to stop Scott from having fun.
Sky, you can probably leave if you want to.
All right.
First off, Shepo to DJ for his greatest gravel result ever in a career, dare I say, lifetime achievement. See the attached results from the Team Bonk Bros versus Team Algorithm Dan heads up fantasy head-to-head draft. Team Bonk Bros crushed Team Algo 484 to 439 points. Yeah, suck it, Dan. My question to you is, how did you go about picking your lineup? How did you avoid the DNSs and nail the P5 to 20 picks? Did it make the race day more interesting? Do you see potential in doing this at a bigger scale? What did you not like about this format? And then he breaks down the analysis of some of our picks compared to his. Says for Team Bonk Bros, there was some bad luck with Brennan Wirtz, Dillman, and Coney Lucer. For Team Algo, bad luck came from Peter Vakok, Alex Howes, Nate Spratt. Team Algo was also crushed with 9 DNFs/DNSs versus our Bonk Bros team only had 2.
I don't remember picking any. Was I not allowed to pick because I was in the race?
Yeah, dude.
I don't
we
remember
just
picking any
I
of
think we
this.
just told Adam to do it because none of us actually
I
wanted
just picked
to.
him on.
Who'd you pick?
So I mean, I've got the whole spreadsheet here. If you actually wanted to look at it,
No,
Greg.
never
but
mind.
the way that it worked out was Dan had tried to compare rider versus rider. So it was a rivalry draft pick. So you had to pick left versus right for each row.
Okay.
So I just went through and was like based on either who I thought was fast or had a lot of experience. And experience, if they were fast but didn't have experience typically outweighed.
Okay, I want a few examples of these head-to-heads.
Okay, so let's see. For starters, so I did mess up and I did not pick Lachlan. That was
Who was Lachlan up against?
Mattia De Marchi. I did pick him because
Close.
he was fast.
It's not a bad.
I mean, Mattia De
choice,
Marchi
though.
got 5th, so I mean,
I
that's
know.
still a good pick.
And Lachlan, I think that was a sleeper. I nothing against him. I'm super stoked that Lachlan was the one that won, but he would not have been my pick for overall. He would have been a sleeper pick for sure.
Okay.
Let's see. Then I picked Van Avermaet over Tobias Kongstad, another close one.
What did Tobias Kongstad get?
3rd versus Greg Van Avermaet's 7th.
Yeah, that's close.
Then I picked Payson McRedbull, who got 8th over Nordal Svensson, who got 6th. So again, kind of
Oh
close.
my gosh, these are all so close.
Yeah. DJ versus Rusty. Oh, no. Hold on. He didn't break it down. Never mind. Disregard everything I just said. He's breaking it down versus the number of points, not versus the head-to-head. I've got to go way back into the archives to figure out the head-to-head.
All right. Well, maybe this is too much work
That
to
got
do
messed
at
up.
the end of this podcast.
I was wondering. I was
here.
like, dude, how are these all so close? No. Okay, so I picked Keegan instead of Peter Vatcock. I picked Stetna instead of Lachlan Morton. I picked Matt Beers instead of Rusty. I picked Torbjorn instead of Zach Colton. I picked Brennan Johnson instead of Jesper Akalan. I picked Payson McRedbull instead of Howie.
Who am I
let's
up
see,
against?
Where are you up against? I picked DJ over Carter Anderson.
It's
Okay.
gonna be Dizzle.
Yeah, it should have been Fizzle, dude.
I did pick Dizzle. Where did I pick Dizzle? I don't know where. Maybe Dizzle wasn't on here.
Sad.
Sad.
Hmm.
I don't see him on here.
Is it just?
Oh no,
is
there
it-
he is. I picked Dizzle over Lawrence Tendam. Dude, that is a compliment, Dizzle. You're not even here to hear me say that, dude.
I'll have to listen to it on
That-
playback.
That should have been a huge compliment.
What did Lawrence Tendam get?
I don't know.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we know what we're talking about. Is what your the conclusion is
Yeah.
out here.
We smoked Algo Dan, dude. Wasn't
Sick,
even
dude.
close.
Freaking
Yeah.
Sick.
bro science
So-
over math.
You're welcome. I
Get
want
it.
us a buck.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Going straight in the tip jar.
We have a
I don't know.
tip jar?
I think something like this does make the spectating more fun. I admittedly was playing golf the entire time the race was going on, so I wasn't like cross-checking the Instagram feed and the live updates on Athlinks with my spreadsheet, but I kind of had an idea of where people were, and it definitely adds like another level of attentiveness to the race. I don't know. That's why fantasy football is so big. You know, like,
Well, that's what Lifetime is trying to do with their fantasy league.
yeah, I agree. I don't know what their fantasy league is like compared to what Dan set up, so I don't have an opinion on which one is a better setup. But I do think it's cool that they're doing it. Algo Dan wanted to put some serious buku dollars on it, and I was like, I actually don't actually bet on sports unless it's myself. Like, I'll bet on my own performance, but I'm not going to bet on just random sports results.
Dude, you bet
So-
on yourself?
Like gambling, like, you know, like playing games.
How do you do
Golf
that?
golf or something like that.
Yeah, like playing golf or like
Yeah.
playing beanbags. Like, I'll bet on beanbags, or, you know, like, I suck at basketball, but if someone wants to like
Yeah.
do a pickup basketball game for $20, I'd probably be down.
Dude, how sick would it be if, you know, like the Tuesday night Hammerfest? What if everybody just like threw $20 in a jar?
That's what I've been saying for like a long time. That's what I wish was a thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do with golf. Like, every time you go out to play golf, if you're like a pretty avid golfer or serious golfer, you're always playing money games. And it's not that like I don't need $20 to like buy groceries. Like it's not like a life or death situation. It's not going to make or break my finances.
You're rolling in the dough right now. Is what you're trying to say.
All those t-shirt sales.
I'm just saying that it adds a little bit of competition to it.
Yeah.
I would argue
And pressure.
of all the people out there who are going to bet $20 on their Tuesday night ride, first, don't do that and go buy one of these t-shirts for $20.
Yeah.
Or the winner
better
of the
yet,
Tuesday or the winner of the Tuesday night race gets one of these shirts.
Exactly. Buy that ahead of time, and that's what's up for grabs.
Yeah. Bet on your
how
own.
many people sit up. And not
Basically,
win.
give
bet
us
on your
$20.
own style with this shirt. You know, is it gonna look good or is it gonna look like crap?
Yeah.
It does look good. Look at it. Let's talk tires.
I like it.
Bonk Bros.
I don't think
half of this shirt is like for you, Dylan. The super duper fast 47. That's you.
Yeah, but I don't
That's
like that.
so DJ last year.
I don't like that tire anymore. I've moved on.
They had a breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
DJ, if you
super
couldn't
duper fast
fit
2.2
Conti
doesn't
Race
sound
Kings
as cool.
in your bike, what would be the next best tire?
I wouldn't ride that bike.
Challenge Getaway 45 XPs.
No, like you don't understand. I wouldn't ride that. I wouldn't ride that bike.
Would it be the T-Birds or the Pathfinder 47s?
No,
What
I
were
wouldn't.
your exact words to me at the finish? I think your first thing you asked me was, "Did you flat?"
Did you flat?
And I said no, and you were like, "Wow, I'm so impressed."
I'm
with
just
those
I'm just
tires."
impressed that those tires don't flat, but I still think my tires are faster and don't flat.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the answer to the question
There
what
can be
would you-
multiple. There can be multiple good tires. It's not
No,
just
I-
the tires. Yeah.
No, I get there can be multiple good tires, but there can only be one best tire.
Agreed. But if you can't fit that in your bike, and
No,
you
I
can't
don't-
just get a new bike. If you could fit a T-Bird or a Pathfinder 47, which one would you choose?
Or a Challenge Getaway XP.
I do
Throw that
know
in
a
there.
couple
Come on,
people-
Adam. Throw me some love here.
Or that.
I do know a
Yes.
couple people that ran Thunderbirds, and they had tire issues because I think the Thunderbird is just such a thin tire.
So that one's
That's
out.
what I would have thought.
So it's
Yeah.
down
Like
between.
I think the Race
Getaway
King
and
is
the
unique in
Pathfinder.
that it's got a lot of protection and it's also fast rolling and its handles really good. Like it's kind of the unicorn. The only thing it's
Yeah,
missing
how
is
do they-
volume.
How do they do that?
Yeah, Continental just has their rubber dial, dude. I think I would just run the gator skin, honestly.
All right.
Probably wouldn't fly with those.
Yeah. Gator skin 25s.
And what's gonna win?
I'm gonna try stuff in
an alligator.
I'm gonna try stuff in a Race King into my NV Mog and see if it'll fit.
It'll fit. It'll fit.
Be close.
They
Why
have a
haven't you
2.0.
tried it already?
It's just a different
Because
pacing or
I haven't
something?
cared enough to. I haven't really. I don't know. Now I just
That's-
want to because I
That's
think
the first thing I did when I got my frame.
Okay, but my previous bike I could only clear 42s, so the first thing I did was put 47s on,
Okay.
and I just haven't
First thing
taken those
I
off.
did was like build it and ride it.
Wow,
As is.
Pretty cool, bro.
Took a picture
Okay.
of it too.
This is getting close to 2 hours now, and I think
And
Taylor's still tuning in, which
and
that
I-
must be a big bummer for her.
He's gonna quit it.
Yeah. So we should knock this thing down.
All right.
Yeah, good
Okay.
idea.
All
Later.
right. See you guys. Congrats, DJ. Love you,
Thanks.
man. We're proud of you.
Nice job.
Appreciate it.
Be better.
All